Hi, I'm Dan, and you are?
I'm Sierra.
And we are going to be talking about
2017 Oak Farm Petit Verdot from our estate vineyard.
So this was the first year that we were able to get fruit off of this.
Yes.
In other words, we planted it. It takes about 3 years before you get anything really to speak of, and that was this was the
so we planted it in 2014.
Yeah.
So third leaf, we call it. And so we picked it for the first time off of our estate.
Exactly.
And aged it for 2 years before putting it in bottle and letting it bottle age and then now releasing it.
Yep.
So this one, what we do is after harvest takes place, so we hand pick the grapes at night. We'll do fermentation and then we'll let it go in barrel and go through secondary fermentation. And it ages in about 28% new oak, so brand new barrels, French and American, for about 2 years.
Yep. So when we're talking about percentages of how much new oak and all that kind of stuff, can you break it down like how that actually works out math-wise?
Yeah, so say we have 10 barrels of Petit Verdot, and we have 30% of it brand new barrels.
Yep.
So we are going to take about 3 barrels,
Yep.
and they're going to be brand new, never been used before
Right.
with wine, and then the rest are going to be neutral barrels. So they're kind of a holding vessel, going to add oxygen into the wine, but not really give it any of the caramelized flavors, the vanilla, the smokiness, the oak.
Absolutely.
So we want the oak to be present in this wine,
Yep.
but I don't necessarily want it to take over the aroma.
And then at the end, you're going to go ahead and take it and put it all together in one tank.
Yes.
And that way it's all kind of homogeneous, mixed together. And so that when from the first bottle to the last bottle, they all taste the same. It's not like, oh, well, you know, if you're going from barrel to barrel into the bottling line, which would be impossible. But if you did,
do that.
yeah, I don't think you could. But if you could, maybe if you had like a small little hand bottler, you could probably do it that way. So that's. I think we get that question all the time.
Yeah.
So I just thought that'd be worth mentioning.
Yeah. So
and stuff like
we put all the barrels together into one tank, mix the tank, filter it, and then put it through the bottling line.
Absolutely. Okay. So
as you guys know, Petit Verdot comes from Bordeaux region in France. And we actually grow all of the 5 main Bordeaux varieties on our estate property here at Oak Farm.
There's a 6th one. We're not entirely sure how to pronounce it. Carmenere. Carmenere, whatever. But that one is it's grown prevalently in Chile.
And actually, interesting is that it's not really ever made as a Petit Verdot in Bordeaux. It's usually a blending grape. So usually in Bordeaux, their main varieties are Cab and Merlot. So they'll take the Cab and Merlot and blend, anywhere from 2 to 10% of Petit Verdot in that.
Yeah.
So it's actually really hard to find in 100% Petit Verdot, which we do here at Oak Farm.
Yep.
Petit Verdot means little green. What did I say?
Little green one?
Little green one, yeah.
Is that sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the little green one.
Yeah.
Okay, take 2.
It's actually better if we just cut those in too. Yeah, kind of for fun.
So Petit Verdot means little green one, which I thought was really interesting. It takes a lot to ripen this grape.
Are you sure it means little green one? I'm just joking.
I was like, I think.
Yeah,
Big green one? No, little green one because it's small,
petite.
little, petite barrels.
Yeah, petite without the E, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is super weird for people because they look at it and when you say it.
For the longest time, I thought that petite had an E at the end, and I spelled it wrong.
Well, it does. It does when you have Petite Syrah.
Yeah.
But with Petit Verdot, it doesn't. And only because of my understanding is it has something to do with, and I totally probably could screw this up, but it has something to do with some laws with. It's like how you can't call champagne unless it's from champagne.
Yeah.
It's something with like Petit Verdot has something to do with it being tied to there and all that kind of stuff, and that's why they had to drop the E.
Drop the E and make it a different name.
Yeah,
technically.
yeah, kind of. So it's a legal thing, which is weird. But anyway, so look out for that when you're buying a bottle of Petit Verdot. No, we didn't all just mess up and misspell this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So something to know.
But Petit Verdot really takes a lot to ripen. It's one of the last grapes that we pick.
Yeah.
We pick it in middle of October, so end of harvest.
Yeah.
And really what's happening when a berry grows on the vine, it starts out with a lot of pyrazines, which are compounds that have more greenness to them, so unripe. So you're gonna get a little bit of like sage, a little bit of green bell pepper, a little bit of olive, which are not necessarily a positive, but they're not necessarily a negative to your wine. So what we try and do here at Oak Farm is ripen the fruit fully so that we're getting less of those pyrazines and more of the violet floral characteristic and the fruitiness.
Yep.
So smelling this, I mean, right off the bat, I get like a ripe plum and a little bit of raspberry. And then I get some of the characteristics from the oak that we were talking about earlier. Some vanilla or nutmeg, a little bit of caramelized sugar.
Yeah.
But I really like how it has those pyrazines a little bit, but you can taste the fruit through it. And I think that's from growing it here in Lodi. You're getting a little bit more heat than in Bordeaux.
Just as a kind of a general thing about Lodi, as far as temperature-wise, we're roughly the same average temperature as certain parts of Napa, like St. Helena. The only difference being is they get, I shouldn't say the only difference, the main difference being that they get fog in the morning. We get very little.
Yeah.
The only fog we get is in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And so that affects their growing season. We're usually week and a half, 2 weeks ahead.
2 weeks ahead of them, yeah.
As far as how things ripen. So they have longer hang time. Their soil's also a little bit different. So from Lodi, Lodi is just a little bit more sandy, a little bit more rich.
Yeah.
Theirs is a little bit more depleted. And rich sounds like a good thing, but it's not necessarily always a good thing with wine. It can depends on the grape and all that kind of stuff. Some ones like to struggle more than others.
Yeah.
And so that's, worth mentioning and stuff like that. So,
and I really like this Petit Verdot, the way it feels heavy and bold and big, but it's elegant and smooth. It's kind of hard to describe, but it has the tannins, the gripping tannins, the dryness on your tongue, but it's not overbearing. It goes down smoothly, and you kind of get those same fruitiness on the palate as you're smelling.
You were an intern when we made this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Digging out the tank,
Mm-hmm.
dirty,
Yeah.
pulling the hoses.
Exactly.
It's not really I don't know, what would you pair with this? I don't think it's really let me just sit in the sunshine by the pool and only drink Petit Verdot.
No, this is a dinner wine. It's because it's intense.
Yeah.
It's got a lot.
I mean, look at the color.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's intense. Honestly, because it's so intense, you could drink it by itself too. Like it's almost like
More of like
a
an
cocktail.
after, yeah,
or
like
an after dinner drink.
Yeah.
But it would go well with heavier dishes. Of course, your steaks and all that kind of stuff. And then I don't know. I mean, we've talked about it before. I like rack.
Yeah, lamb with it.
Yeah, that'd be
not a
good.
huge lamb fan, but
I know you're not. but having
but something
that,
heavier, meatier.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be very good with a Christmas dinner. I think that's what I picture drinking it on Christmas.
Temperature-wise, people always say, "Oh, red wine. Well, we're gonna drink this at room temperature." Well, room temperature is usually referred to as like a cellar in Europe. Where they're that room
underground.
temperature. Underground, yeah, like it's 60-something degrees or whatever. So I would say just low 60s.
I would say
if you could. If you have a
62, 63.
a really like super easy shorthand life hack, so to speak, is to take a bottle of red, throw it in the fridge 15 minutes before you need to drink it.
Yeah.
And then, or 20.
And the opposite with the white
Take it out.
is keep it in the fridge. Yeah, take it out 15, 20 minutes before you drink it.
Because you don't want it too cold on a white, because if it's super cold, you can't taste a lot of the flavors.
You don't get the aromas either.
No.
They stay in the glass.
Yeah,
They're not really
it's all
popping
closed
out
up.
of the wine.
Yeah, it's all closed in there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so
Cheers.
This was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you like it, maybe hit the like button and maybe subscribe, and we'll keep doing these.
Yeah.
Sounds good? All
See
right.
you
Thank you so
soon.
much.